Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our Tactical Breakdown series, a show in which we break down the latest Arsenal news in regard to the transfers, which players are being linked to Arsenal, what are they like, what do we know about them, statistically how do they stack up, and what expert insight can we give you guys about it. So let's not wait around, because this is about someone today that a lot of you have been requesting in the comment sections below, which you can do in every video, and we really appreciate you dropping those comments in because it lets us know who you want us to talk about. And today's video is about Pape Gueye of Le Havre, however you want to pronounce it. my French is horrific, so we're going to go with the very English Le Havre. That's what we're going to go with. So Pape Gueye of Le Havre, for me, this is someone that I, again, have not known too much about whatsoever, was not aware of his existence until a couple of weeks back when I started to see the links grow and expand, and that is why this show is so great, not just for you guys, but for me to find out as much as feasibly possible. So I'm very happy to be joined by someone who's going to tell me a lot more than I currently know about Pape Gueye and get all the insight for you guys too. So before we jump into that, please make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn notifications on so you never miss a show. And if you'd like to become a member, like the fantastic people that you can see on the screen now, then you can get access to exclusive content as well. Yesterday we interviewed Kevin Campbell, former Arsenal striker, on his thoughts on Arteta, striking options and the like. So if you want to get that exclusive content, make sure you sign up and join up and support the channel as a member. Let's jump straight into things though in regards to the reason why you have clicked the video. You are here to listen to the thoughts of Steve Wyss from @Meatman Soccer, who is a soccer and betting analyst from Ligue 1. Love saying that. Ligue 1. Fantastic. What a great name for a league. I mean, I say a great name for a league. That is literally the French words for League 1 and 2. So why I think that's so amazing is completely circumstantial. Oh, this video is going to pot already, I can tell. Let's jump straight into things though and talk to Steve, who's going to give us all the insight on Pape Gueye.
So, Pape Gueye from Le Havre. He comes from a historic club for developing young players and selling them on. They're renowned for having a great academy, and he is one of those prospects. So he first came to my attention at the back end of last season, sort of the last third of the campaign, where he broke into the first team. And I think the thing that struck me initially was really young and energetic, but raw, sort of box-to-box midfielder. And I think I expected him to keep his spot at the start of this campaign, and he's been a mainstay in the team for Le Havre. It's sort of primarily it's perceived that his best position is defensive midfielder, as a sort of deep-lying playmaker, and but I would personally more class him as a box-to-box midfielder. I think that's sort of his biggest strengths anyway. He does like to get forward into the opposition area sometimes, or certainly making runs forward. In terms of his big strengths, physical acceleration is a massive plus, I would say. That's the thing that strikes me. He can get away from that man instantly, and got decent pace as well. Obviously, for France Ligue 2 level, then his strength is considered very, very good. In terms of Premier League level, I would question it a little bit more. It's a big step up. Yep, he's got the raw physical attributes in terms of strength, though, to develop and build in time. He's still quite a young player. From a technique point of view, then I would say you would expect it more from an advanced midfielder rather than a defensive midfielder. He's got lovely skill, very flary for a D-mid. He has that nice first touch and ability to go past his man, like I say, and win duels. I've seen people compare him to Patrick Vieira and N'Golo Kante sort of mix, and I can see that. He's got the lankiness of Vieira, that way he drove forward. He's not as much of a unit as a Patrick Vieira, but he's got a lot of... There are similarities there for sure. From a mental point of view, he's also got a lot of strengths, high determination, work rate, drives forward a lot. He's actually been the captain in recent times. I think he's been captain 4 or 5 times this season, which just shows he must have a strong influence in the dressing room there. And on the field, you can see that he does, say, drive the team forward. And he will be staying at Le Havre until the end of the season, and then someone will probably buy him. Le Havre are a selling club, and sometimes they don't really get enough money for some of these players, so you could probably get him on the cheap. And the type of player that Arsenal are looking for, young, talented, can develop him, and either then he could become a major player down the line, or if it didn't quite work out, you could probably sell him for a profit nevertheless. As I say, is he ready for the Premier League now? No, probably not. He's a bit raw, but he can still, contribute off the bench, or if you give him some starts in, Europe, or some of the lesser profile games, then that could work out. But yeah, I think Arsenal's point of view, good sort of signing, young, and I say there's a good historical link with Le Havre in terms of their players tend to do quite well down the years. Look at Lys Mousset now at Bournemouth. Look at Riyad Mahrez came through there. So there's loads of others down the years. So yeah, good signing for Arsenal if they went in for him, and be a good destination. But he does need his minutes. He can't just rot in the reserves. But I'd imagine that he'll be given enough game time there at the Emirates. So yeah, promising player going forward, and one to keep an eye on.
Massive thank you to Steve for providing us with some really in-depth and insightful expert information on Pape Gueye. And I'm not going to stop the insight there, because I've also got some information from Pierre Hakim Ogurni, who is from Ultimo Diaz. Now, Pierre doesn't speak English, so he sent me through what he thinks of the player in written form, and I'm going to read it for you on the screen. So this is what Pierre has got to say. He says he's a very promising player. He has lots of physical power and he wins lots of duels, but he is also comfortable with the ball. On the pass especially, I like his personality with the ball. Despite his young age, he hasn't been afraid to take risks. He is not only going to do the easy passes, but he's going to try the difficult passes as well. So really, really interesting to hear. And Pierre Hakim writes for Ultimo Diaz, which is the same site that we heard from Chloe in our Saliba on loan, sort of loan watch video. And Pierre Hakim's sort of thoughts on Pape Gueye there really sort of solidifies what Steve was saying about the talent that this guy possesses, and maybe someone that Arsenal are looking to bring through. Now, after we've gone through the stats, we are going to talk a little bit about where he might fit in, but you are here for those statistics, and there is no better place to start than our trusted heat map. So you can see on your screen now the heat map in front of you. It's very clear to see that he favours that left-hand side as a player. 21 years of age, he's running about the park. It's what you see usually from these centre mids is a very intense patch in sort of their own half, and then a slight increase, or rather decrease, of what you see in their own half in the opposition's area. And you can see that there from what Pape Gueye is showing. He's around the central part of the pitch, but he is clearly a disciplined player. He knows his position, he knows where he needs to be on the field, and he doesn't wander too much into the opposition box. He's not a Torreira that likes to bomb forward sometimes and just completely lose all sense of his positioning at times. And that's not a criticism of Torreira, because I love the guy, but he is very disciplined, Pape Gueye. He knows his role, he knows that he's there to do maybe the not so fancy pretty stuff, but he's there to win the ball back and get the ball turned over and back in his team's possession. Let's look at his defensive stats. 7.4 defensive duels per game with a 54.5% success rate. That's very good. Aerial duels 4.47 with 57.4% success rate. Both of those defensive duels and aerial duels very, very decent. I like that. I like how high the percentages are. They're very strong. That shows that he's clearly someone who wins loads of his tackles. Sliding tackles, my God, is this guy good at sliding tackles? 100% success rate. However, there is a small caveat with the fact that he only does 0.09 of those in each game. But when he does them, my God, is he good. Interceptions, 5.18 interceptions per game. I'd like to see that a little bit higher for a midfielder. Possibly something down to where the league that he's playing in, with the system that he is, the team that he's playing at, maybe. But at Arsenal, I'd hope that percentage, or rather that number, would increase if he was to sign. Losses, nearly 10 losses per game with only 37.3% in his own half. I like the percentage being as low as it is, but I'd like those losses to be slightly lower. But from a player that's only 21 years old, I'm expecting to see a fair few losses. They're mainly from passes, mainly from maybe taking the ball a little bit too long, but he needs to learn to be more mature in possession. Recoveries, over 10 recoveries in each game, 33.8%. Of those being in the opposition half to restart attacks. Block shots 0.22, clearances 1.68, and then fouls. Over 2 fouls in a game. He's had a red card. He's had a fair few yellow cards. Yellow cards, red lorry, yellow lorry. He's had a fair few yellow cards so far this season, which tells me that discipline-wise, maybe that's something that he needs looking at. He needs to be a little bit more accurate in the challenges that he's making. But certainly I think that's something that can be taken out of him. But maybe we need a bit of nasty. Maybe this team needs a bit more nasty in it, and maybe Pape Gueye brings that. Let's look at the passing statistics. 42 passes made in each game and 81.7% accuracy. I'd like to see that accuracy a bit higher for a midfielder into the high 80s. Hopefully that develops. But the long passing is strong. When you see a long passing accuracy of nearly 60, over 60, that's a very good accuracy percentage. The best world-class players in the world, you'll see more 70s, even 80s with long passing. But seeing a 60 from a 21-year-old is very, very good. Through passes, 1.68, 36.8% accuracy. That's decent too. Crosses just simply not part of his game, hence why assists, XA and second assists are also low. But passing into the final third, 68.8% in terms of accuracy is strong. 10 of those being made too, which is really good. He likes to play the ball forwards, and you'll see that more in a second. Passes into the box, over 2 made in each game, 46.9% accuracy. So 50-50 with passes into the box, also pretty decent. 28 received passes per game. That is low. That is a low amount of passes. He's not the guy that you give the ball to start attacks. He's the guy that's in there to do the dirty work, win the ball back, turn over possession, and get the ball moving again, which is good. Forward passes to backward passes, very strong ratio for a midfielder, over 3 times the amount of forward passes. I'd like to see that forward pass accuracy higher up into the low 80s, high 70s, but the 95.3% back pass accuracy is what you'd expect from that position there. So that's also good. The attacking stats. Not expecting this to be amazing because he's a defensive-minded midfielder. No goals, 2 assists is what's decent. Shots on target, he's taken a fair few shots, but they aren't very accurate. 17.1%, which is, it doesn't bother me. That's not what he's there for. That's not his job. And he's mainly taken them from outside the box as well. And maybe that's something that will be sort of chiselled out of him at Arsenal were he to join, but it's not part of his game. It's not the strongest bit. He's the type of person that had about 35 shooting on FIFA, if you go by FIFA rules these days. Although saying that, my Idrissa Gueye at PSG scored an absolute screamer, and he's only got 43 shooting, so who knows? The physics are wrong. But XG, for that reason, 0.08, very low. Shot assists, very low, 0.44. Crosses, we've already talked about. Dribbles, 1.9 for 60% accuracy. He gets the ball, he recycles it, he keeps the play ticking on. That's part of his game. He's not a dribbler, that's not what he's there for. Offensive duels, 5.31 and 52.5% success rate is very good. I like that. Touches in the box, that just shows you 0.66 times in each game. So he's touching it very, very little, once every 2 games, if that, just over. So progressive runs wise, again, 0.66, very low. Foul suffered, 2.26, higher than I thought. But maybe that's because he is still a very confident player that likes to be on the ball, and sometimes he's going to take players on in the sort of tight, close quarters that we see in midfield. So there you go. That gives you everything that you need to know regarding Pape Gueye. I hope this has been the video that you dreamed of when you've been commenting in our comment section below. If it has been, please make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. We will see you again very, very soon. Do not worry. I have some Deo Upamecano plans on the horizon. They are coming. I'll be getting some very good expert insight on him. I wanted to make sure I had some top class insight for it, so don't you worry, that is coming. So anyone else though that you think that we should be covering, think that you've seen a link from a player going to Arsenal, let me know about it in the comment section below. If you'd like to become a member and join our lovely roster of people, then please make sure you click that join button too and help support the channel and improve it as much as it feasibly can. I've been Tom Canton. I'll see you again very, very soon, and as always, up the Arsenal.